Mine is spinning. I'm waiting to see.
Seems like mine is still spinning as well. Is anyone else able to see it?
It's spinning for me.
It says stream failed to start.
No, fail.
Yeah, fail.
Again. Should be.
I see it.
There we go.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit. Should be fairly quick in terms of sessions. So let me turn on the PvP real quick. All right, so here's our weekly PvP. You guys will see that right now. We'll hide the candles. All right, so if you guys look here, there's some bars. You guys will see that we've been basically trying to build value in the top, right? Well, in terms of longer time frames, right? In terms of like weekly profiles, this is not necessarily bearish, but anytime we peaked above the value here, you guys see what happened, right? I mean, every single time they're coming in, they peak, and then they basically fall back inside that value, right? So what you can do is, what I did here is that I have this massive SIGs, right, identified. You could also do the same thing on the smaller ones, right? And you'll see that it's fairly close, right? And you'll see that, I think this is 95. Yeah. Let's just change this to 68. And you'll see that this is your zone, you know, for top shorting, right? Because we're in a bracket, we're in a massive bracket that's, this would be your short zone. Then you see the CPOC sitting kind of around 70 or so. And then you have another HVN from higher time frames sitting here. And then your SIG on the 4-week SIGs would be sitting here, right? So what I would do is I would just mark this as a 4-week SIG 1, and then you'll see that this is most likely going to play an important role either tomorrow, I'm sorry, or a day after, but one of these is going to play a role. What you want to pay attention to, right, in bracketed markets is if we go above, right, let's say they go above and they lose this, this is a sign, right, that we can go probably somewhere around here, right? It would be take profits here and be really, really kind of tight to go to the 6410, which happens to be a really high volume node. And depending on what time frame you're on, it switches the POC as well. As you see here on 4 hours, right, or 8 hours, it goes up here. It goes in 2 hours, it'll shift down as well. So that's why I kind of mark both of them, right? And you'll see that here. Does that make sense? So on the breakouts, you do not want to be the first one, right? You don't need to be the first one. If they go here and they make a higher high here, right? And we want to spend 60 minutes. A lot of you guys are maybe asking, like, how do you know the price is accepted here or not? Well, we want to spend 60 minutes without access on the top, right? We want to make sure that they're accepting the prices on the top side and that there's buyers. When you guys look at the market profile, right, it's telling you a little bit more information here. And you see here, as soon as we went up, what happened on volume at the top? Is there a lot of participation? Is there a lot of participation here?
No.
Decreasing.
No.
Yeah, there's no participation, right? So there's no buyers. We did get access on Friday, right, from the nice liquidation that you guys had. So there's some access, and we'll kind of go into the daily here. But in terms of the weekly, you guys see clearly that this is just a stacking balance, right? The week prior, right, you guys see that there's really no other time frame participants. Even this one here, you know, it got a little extended, but not much. These 2 weeks both of them had lower value shifts. And the only one that had higher here is this one. And then ever since, they've been kind of stacking them lower. So nothing significant in terms of value area high, but value area lows were kind of shifting, right? They went down, they shifted back up, and then, you know, they shifted back down again here as well. So can I make predictions on this? No, it's just short the tops, you know, take it at the CPOC, close it, and then target the bottoms here as well. So 32 and 64.10. Ideally, what we want to see, right, in terms of a short, like you see how they've even tried today, right? And that's why I was talking about puts on SPY. They tried multiple times to go above the zone and they're not able to. And this sell-off on Friday, it has a massive access, right? It has a lot of single prints. So somebody was eager to sell on Friday, right? And today they defended it. So if you guys go, just kind of here, let me turn on the TPOs. I'll hide this. Oh. Come on. So here's your, Friday profile, right? I would say Thursday was probably one of the worst profiles you can have. There's really nothing you can make up out of it, right? You open here, you close at the highs, then the next day you have a nice little gap here, and then the A and B period, just liquidation of the longs, right? They pretty much got destroyed. And if you guys look, this is where your single prints are, and you can call that unfair high, right? That'll be an important level to carry forward. And if you guys remember, this was also one of our fibs, about 65.20. So they'll come and play again, right? And then you can mark this as an all-time high as well here, sitting at 42 RTH all-time high. And now you see that they're building value where? Well, they're building value where the access was, where the single prints were right here. And that's what they're trying to do. Did they really do anything today in terms of price? Not really. So if you look at the price action today, there was really no confirmation. Really no confirmation today on the price action, right? It was pretty tight. They went up. I think we shorted somewhere around here. We covered around here, and then we said go long here as soon as they reclaim a certain level, target at 05 or 04. I don't know which one it was, and they did that pretty well, right? So tomorrow, how would you play this? Any clues? What's the most
Would
important
we
level for you guys tomorrow?
would we short that poor high if they come to it?
Okay, anyone else?
We still have some single prints to clean up, so depends where we open.
Okay, that's good. Anyone else?
Kind of a narrow range value area. So maybe look for a breakout either above or below, and they're going to, freely said about the poor high, target that, and then for a short possibly. But with the narrow range, it looks like it would, possibly keep going higher. So I guess a breakout of the value area.
Fair. So just think of value, right? So a lot of value was created whenever you have a liquidation profile, in this case, lowercase b. If you want to remain bearish, you want to hold the price in here. Everybody agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now if you look, right, they opened above it and then they came back on the value area high, and you see them trying to hold it, right? And I was asked why don't we get into the puts? Well, if they would have closed below here, I would have been interested in some puts, right? But they went below, they hit that level perfectly, and then they basically bounced, right? So there was no confirmation on the puts, right? So if this is our value area high of that, right? And then this is your value area high prior. If you make this zone right here, this becomes your most important zone for tomorrow. Once they lose the zone, 64.70, and I would say all of these levels below come into the play. Most likely around 36, 32 would expect some sort of bounce, but it won't be pretty important in my opinion. If they decide to crack this, they're going to go all the way down probably to about 64.10, and then ultimately here about 63.35 would be the next level that they're targeting. So here on the profile, does everybody understand why this zone? This was the value. They want to hold the value above this right now. And ideally, if you're a bear, what they do is they clean up this poor high, maybe hit this access, and then give you this. And this would be golden setup, right, for a short. And you could target the 4-week SIG 1 all the way to the opposite end, if that makes sense. Does everybody follow?
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is somewhere where I would target that to play out. They lose this, you're targeting about 70 points down. So remember, brackets mean limited risk, limited reward. As we go here, you know, you don't have anything. If you short here, you don't have to start hoping for more here. You take your money here. If they catch a bounce, let them bounce, right? You could go long, put your stop loss, and just play the bracket. A lot of you guys take a short here, and then you're like, oh my God, I want more. You get greedy, and then, you know, shorting the bottom of the bracket usually never works out. So tomorrow's open, right? If they open above this and they do something like this and they get inside of this value and inside the zone or SIG 1, that's our sign to potentially take it, you know, all the way down. Does that make sense? I would say it's going to be fairly boring just because you have the CPI, PPI coming this week, and they could make you kind of, you know, go crazy with the price action similar to what they did today, right? There's only, you know, a handful of trades you could have taken short and long, and that was it. So this is typical sideways day before an explosion, right? So tomorrow they peak, and I don't know where they are right now, right? They're right at the SIG 1. So they'll most likely defend it overnight, you know, here for 5 points, but not something I'll play here. And then if they lose this, then changes. That's going to change the game, and we're looking for a short side. Probably test this zone 90, whatever this is, 96 to 92. They lose this, the gate's open. I mean, it's going to be pretty. That would then mean, you know, if you look at this ETH profile, it looks like a double distribution. If they can crack above this, then new all-time high is most likely coming as long as they hold it. If they can't, we're going to search buyers all the way to the bottom, right? So if you look here, this zone here will be pretty important. That's identified 4-week SIG 1, and then ultimately will be somewhere around 6335 and 6246. And I think the NFP last week was pretty bad. I haven't had a chance to review it, but it looked pretty bad. That makes sense? This is the easiest market to trade if you ask me. Maybe not today just because the way the market behaved, but the bracketed markets, you can make some decent money trading it. Any questions?
All good, man. Thank you.
All right. Well, I'll monitor to see how the market behaves. Honestly, I don't want to stare at the screen if they're going to give me the same price action like today. It was pretty shitty to trade, right? So I would keep your, you know, keep your capital until we get the clearance of PPI, CPI. It's going to be a pretty nasty week, so preserve your capital, right? There's always another week in the market, so sometimes you don't have to trade. It's better not to trade than trade. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow. I have a good one. I'll schedule the class for Sunday as well. And we'll see you then.
Thanks, Shorty.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Thank you. Thank you, Shorty.